Look, there's a storm raging inside every founder, every investor, every leader watching this right now. It's the gnawing feeling that the old game just doesn't work anymore. The traditional startups, the ones chasing pure profit, scaling fast, burning out fast, they grab the spotlight like they own the future. But deep down, there's this itch. This desperate hope that things can be different. That business can actually mean something more than money on a spreadsheet. The frustration is real. Feeling trapped in a cycle where success gets measured by how quickly you grow, but not by what you build, whom you lift, or how you change the world. Come on, let's be honest. How many times have you watched the loudest startups winning, while the real changemakers, the social enterprises with guts, heart, and vision, barely get noticed? You feel it, don't you? That sting in your gut, knowing that the system rewards shortcuts, hype, and quick wins, but punishes the slow burn of genuine impact. It's not just unfair, it's a damn crisis. Because the world is screaming for solutions that go beyond profits, solutions that heal, that connect, that build communities and futures worth living. Here's the real thing nobody's telling you loudly enough. When social enterprises start outperforming traditional startups, everything changes. And it's not just business as usual with a nicer story. It's a revolution of purpose shaking the ground beneath your feet, tearing down illusions that have held you prisoner for too long. Imagine a world where your hustle doesn't just make you richer, but actually makes the planet healthier, your community stronger, and your soul fuller. When that shift hits, the whole game flips upside down, and suddenly the winners aren't the ones with the best marketing, but those with the deepest meaning. But let's zoom in on what's really hurting you right now. The exhaustion of pretending that growth is freedom when half the time it's a leash. The isolation of fighting for impact in a world that barely recognizes you. The burnout from trying to scale too fast in a system designed to chew you up and spit you out. The loneliness of being misunderstood, like your big ideas are too big for the status quo, but too new for the old guard to get behind. It's brutal, and it's real. But here's the kicker. It doesn't have to stay that way. Because the moment you start seeing social enterprises outpace traditional startups, it proves something absolutely wild. Purpose breeds power. Real, lasting power. Not the kind that crumbles when markets shift, but the kind that grows roots deep in values, in communities, and in trust. That means the old rules you've been handed? They're breaking apart. The metrics you chased? They're losing relevance. What matters now is your ability to connect deeply with people who share your mission, your values, and your hunger to rewrite what success actually means. This isn't just good news. It's a call to arms. So how do you tap into this seismic shift? How do you go from fighting the current to riding the wave that the few who dare are creating? First, stop chasing what everyone else is chasing. Forget the glossy exit fantasies pushed by the loudest voices. Instead, dig deep into your why, the reason your enterprise exists beyond revenue. Let your mission be so clear, so magnetic, that it pulls in the right partners, the right investors, the right customers who will stick with you when the going gets tough. That magnetic mission is your North Star. It will guide your decisions, fuel your resilience, and help you build a tribe that's fiercely loyal. Here's something that's rarely said but absolutely true. Social enterprises win because they play the long game. They're patient, relentless, and willing to evolve. Quick scaling sounds sexy on paper, but every social enterprise that really breaks through knows the truth. Impact takes time. It needs iteration, listening to the community, learning from failure, and sometimes stepping back to move forward. So you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable with the pace, because this is a marathon for those who want their work to matter decades from now, not just next quarter. Next, embrace radical transparency and authenticity like your life depends on it. People today, founders, investors, customers, they can smell fake from a mile away. If you're doing social good just as a tactic, you're toast. But if you truly embody your mission in every decision and shout it from the rooftops with courage and humility, you become unstoppable. The market doesn't just want reasons to buy from you, it wants to belong with you. This authenticity creates connection on a human level that no algorithm can break. It shakes loose the old guard and builds a new kind of loyalty that's fierce and unbreakable. But don't stop there. You have to build radically diverse networks. Social enterprises thrive when they're plugged into ecosystems that bring together different skills, perspectives, and passions. This is your secret weapon, the fiery synergy that lights up innovation. Don't just surround yourself with people who look like you or agree with you. Seek out the sharpest minds, the boldest dreamers, the hardest questioners, and the fiercest challengers. When you forge those alliances, you create a force no traditional startup can match because you're not just optimizing profits, you're optimizing possibilities. Just as importantly, sharpen your ability to measure what matters. Traditional startups obsess over KPIs like user acquisition or valuation. That's old news. Social enterprises that outperform have figured out how to track impact in ways that tell a real story. How lives have changed, how communities have grown, how ecosystems have healed. This disciplined approach to impact measurement separates the tire kickers from the real deal. When you can prove that your work moves the needle on real problems, you don't just attract funding, you ignite movements. And here's a brutal truth. The system is not designed to support you. It's set up for mediocrity, for the comfortable, for the easy path. That's why it's so lonely and tough feeling like you're fighting alone. But what if you're not? The moment social enterprises come together, sharing insights, pooling resources, aligning their orbit, you get a force multiplier. Suddenly, you're not a single flicker in the dark. You're part of a blazing wildfire that lights up the entire landscape. That's the power of collective radical action, and it's the future knocking at the door. So if you've felt tired, frustrated, filled with doubts about whether this path is worth it, pause and listen. You are standing at the edge of a new era. When social enterprises start beating traditional startups, the whole ecosystem shifts. Investors hungry for meaning start moving their money toward impact. Customers demand more than products. They want values. Communities rally behind missions that heal and elevate. And founders like you are no longer outliers. You become the new norm. The thing is, this isn't about being nice. It's about being bold, relentless, and unapologetically real. It's about burning so fiercely for your cause that nothing can put you out. It's about breaking chains, smashing illusions, and refusing to settle for the world as it is. Because here's the ultimate truth. The future belongs to those who dare to build it different. Not just faster, bigger, or louder, but deeper, kinder, and stronger. So get ready, because the next wave is here. The ones who refuse to live a borrowed life, who reject comfort and consensus, who know that to create what's next, they have to unlearn what was. Social enterprises outperforming traditional startups isn't a prediction. It's a promise. A promise that business can save itself by saving something much bigger: the world, humanity, and our collective soul. Don't waste another second buying into old lies that say freedom is just a rule book. Freedom is the unleashing of your full power, the creating of connections so fierce that nothing can stop you. Freedom is not easy, but it's yours if you grab it with both hands and never let go. So rise up, align with the few who burn as you do, and rewrite what it means to succeed. Because when social enterprises soar past traditional startups, they don't just change markets, they change lives. And that's the kind of win worth every sleepless night and every battle fought. This is your moment, the rare chance to be part of something bigger than profit, bigger than status quo, bigger than fear. The moment when impact isn't a side note, but the headline. The moment when you step off the treadmill of borrowed dreams and start forging your own path. The moment when social enterprises stop hoping to catch up and start leading the way. So what happens when social enterprises start outperforming traditional startups? The world turns, the old lies crumble, and the future bursts open, full of wild possibility, fierce connection, and unstoppable change. Will you be ready to take your place in that future? Because it's waiting for those who dare.